Hi, I'm Ebonie Caldwell with ECRP Real Estate Media and Ebonie Caldwell Realty Portfolio. So today I have my wonderful guest that's here with me, and we have Jeff with On Track Credit Path. And Jeff today is going to more or less just introduce himself to me, tell me exactly who he is and what his company does. So the first thing is, Jeff, who are you?
Well, my name's Jeff. I'm with On Track Credit Path and Nationwide Family Solutions. What we do is we work to help people improve their credit so that they can move forward to make larger purchases in their life.
Okay, Jeff, now I have come across you before, at a real estate company that I was previously at, which was Caldwell Banker, and I received a lot of feedback from different agents on what you have done, even some of their clients and what you have done for them, to the point, I wanted to start doing seminars and things with you because I was really intrigued. And then of course before I step out even further, I did my reviews and I was really, really impressed. What make you different from other credit repair companies?
Well, the number one thing I can let you know is to give you a slight background on myself.
Okay.
I come from the mortgage banking business. So I was a lender previously. I probably helped 1,000 people get homes. So I understood fully about credit as well as helping people get homes. Now back when the foreclosure started and things changed, one of the biggest changes is that they changed the credit score of what you needed to have to get a home.
Okay.
So what happened at that point is, overnight, they took a 580 credit score where you used to be able to get a loan and made it 640. So they cut out about 100 million Americans overnight.
Okay.
They couldn't buy, couldn't refinance, couldn't go out there and move forward with what their goals were. So myself, as a lender, I decided to start working in the credit business. At the time, I wasn't using a credit service, but I had followed this credit service at that point, and I found that they did everything properly. They do everything by the book and by the law, and that's very important.
So then you found yourself joining the credit company, starting your own branch.
Yeah, well, actually, I work for the company.
Okay.
And I'm the national business director. What I do is my goal is to help larger clients across the country. I do seminars across the country, and our goal is to be able to help people. Our number one thing, though, is we do a free review with everybody. It's free. We give you an estimate about how long it's going to be, but our service is set up as a month-to-month service.
Okay.
So you don't sign up for 5 months, 3 months, 6 months.
And I know it's pretty inexpensive because, like I said,
yes.
I know other individuals and realtors who have used you.
The goal is to be able to help them, but if we find they might need a different type of help, like a different type of expertise on a larger level, we'd rather give them a better suggestion and have them not sign up with us. That's what makes us so important.
So what does the review consist of? What do you do for me?
Well, what we do, the main thing is we go through 2 different processes. One is to get your free review. We can give a free review without a credit report. There's no issue with that.
Okay.
We ask enough questions to be able to tell if we're able to potentially help.
Okay.
The second part is we can go through your credit with you. Now, there's over 300 million Americans with credit reports, and not one of us has the same report. Now, we're a credit service, so you don't need a low score to work with us. We actually help people with scores all the way down to 400.
All right.
Now, the interesting thing is we help people with 680 credit scores to get to 700 or 720. Because in this day and age, if you want to buy a commercial property,
Yes.
a building, an investment property, a second home, the levels of credit are much different than they were before. You need to be able to have a better credit score. So we're strictly here for credit. We don't show houses, we don't sell cars, we don't do mortgages. But what we do is help people to get their credit profile, credit report, and credit score where it needs to be.
Now you said something that was very interesting to me, which was, you get people that are looking to get commercial properties or, investors. How do you actually work with an investor?
Well, the nice thing about our service is we're considered a short-term service. Our service is generally 2 to 8 months. Most credit services take anywhere from 1 to 2 years.
Yes.
When we do the free credit review, we'll give them an estimate of how long it's going to take. This way they can start planning as they go forward. As we found in the past, there's so many parts of getting a mortgage or buying a property. It's the only thing that you do where you need more than one person.
Correct.
You can buy a car, walk in, they'll do an application, and you drive out in a couple hours. With a home, you have appraisers, you have realtors, you have title companies, you have home inspectors, you have insurance companies, you have a credit service. Now, one thing that I have found is since credit is important across the board, there's no reason not to get your credit in the right position. Whether you're buying a house today, a building, a property, or getting a business loan, you need your credit in a very good place so that down the line you get the best opportunities. As an investor, you should have your credit in the best position. If you asked 100 people that had difficult credit, if they thought their credit could get fixed, 100 of them would say no. The nice thing is we do the free reviews.
And you say you do with short sales. So you're basically saying somebody short sold their property and it shows up on their credit report. How does that affect the credit? And what do you do to basically alleviate it, get rid of it?
With us, again, we can't help everyone. If we feel that we can't help that person, we just let them know and we give them a better suggestion of something they could do, and then eventually they might come back to us. But we don't want them to start with us unless we really feel the potential is there to help them. Now, when it comes to going into a credit report, using your example of a short sale is just one item. But one thing about our credit reports is our credit reports are computers. So they don't know me any more than they know you.
Correct.
So you have 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They're all separate. They have nothing to do with each other. They don't even like each other. So what happens is, and I'm sure you've crossed this before, one bureau has a 520 and one bureau has a 680. So what happened? The difference is it's a computer. It cannot fix itself.
Okay.
So when it comes to a short sale, that's not the only thing that's going to be affecting that person's credit. The reason why using a short sale as an example is whether they did one or didn't do one, it's pretty much 100% that on their credit report it's not reporting correctly.
So let me ask you this. Do you find that one credit report source is more stronger or reliable than the other?
2 things that come to mind. One is I've looked at over 10,000 credit reports. And out of those 10,000, I think 25 were right. That's it.
That's sad.
It is sad.
So it's up to the consumer to constantly get their, or how often would you suggest someone get their credit report pulled?
Well, here's the thing. Pulling our credit reports and being able to do something about it is 2 different words.
Okay.
So one thing is use our service. Take the free credit review, because we'll be able to look at their report and give them an idea about how long it might take. And as they go through our service, we'll help get everything cleaned up and straightened out. We'll work to get things removed, deleted, satisfied, updated. It's very important because if you took every credit report I looked at, one thing is pretty consistent. Unless you do it properly, you're going to have to deal with it forever. That's how it works. So what happens with us is when we go through it, any errors in your report, I will tell you out of 100% of the credit reports that we've worked with, there hasn't been something on someone's credit report that was negative that actually helped.
Now, if I'm a consumer, what would be the first thing that I should look at or they should look at?
The way that you get a credit score is based on your credit profile. There's 3 pieces to your credit report actually. Credit profile, credit score equals credit report. The profile, which is all the information in there, that is what's giving you the credit score. The credit score is not separate. So whatever the computer is seeing is what's calculating your credit score. Now, like you mentioned, when you look at the credit report, is there any red flags? The red flag is a score, because the highest score is 850. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to have an 850, but what I am saying is if you have a 600, there's red flags in there. With credit scores is if you get over 760, you've opened up almost, there's pretty much no doors left to open.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that gives you an idea. So if you were at 830 versus 760, you're still really getting the maximum amount of interest rate where you're not paying that much on interest rate, or being able to have the ability to borrow.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Would it be maybe not fair for me to ask this question, but if I have a 530 credit score, can I get to like 620 in 6 months?
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
Yes, and actually it may be less.
Really?
It may be a month more, but it may be less now.
And it's going to stay on the credit. It's not going to, I mean, of course, unless I don't pay and something else jump up, but it's not going to, because I've heard people do credit before, and maybe they'll add trade lines or whatever the case may be, but it's like it's a temporary fix. It's for that moment. This is not a temporary fix.
No, this is
long
not.
term.
Absolutely. One thing about the consumers that come to our service, again, we're not the cable company, so you're not going to be with us for life. You're here for a short term, and we'll give you an estimate of that time. Most people, when they get to the end of the service, they don't really need us again. They can move on. We want them to keep growing their credit. That's the whole reason that you would send them to us, because we're here more for larger purchases. You don't need us to go buy a couch. You don't need us to buy an exercise bike, because there they may go and have one credit bureau pulled or something like that. We're here to change people's lives and help people. Like I said, we don't show them the houses. That's your expertise.
Right.
We always believe, even myself, you need an expert to be working with you to get the job done right. And when it comes to purchasing investment properties, rehabbers, general contractors, you want
contractor too.
right, but you want an expert that
want an
understands it,
Right.
because then everything goes together. We're really the first place, but a person should start with us right when they go to do that, because we will help get them in their position as they come to when that loan is going to be due.
I mean, realistically, is if their credit is in the right position, instead of getting hard money, they can legitimately start trying to get a business line of credit. And they can get the business line of credit if the credit is there, because the issue with the hard money is, the credit is not there. So they going off, so the only credit that's available is the credit of the house, which is the value of the home. But if you work on their credit, you can help them basically with the business line of credit, which will alleviate a hard money lender, whereas they can just kind of do what they need to do, whether it's for rehabbing or whether it's just maybe they're self-employed to grow their business.
Absolutely. One thing that happens is during the service, our goal is to get them to a point where they can move on without us. And they'll keep growing their score. The score won't stop. The interesting thing about the way credit works is while you're with us, we're addressing every aspect of a person's credit profile with all three bureaus all at the same time. Now, we actually work with 6 or 7 different credit card companies. These are Visas and MasterCards.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
And that's where these are small cards, $200 and $300 cards. Some of them are secured, some of them are not. The goal is to be able to help a person as we go into the second month or so, and the credit profile is breaking apart now, and we're moving forward to get their score in the right place. They may need new trade lines, and these are an opportunity. We give them some suggestions. They don't have to use the sources that we give them as a consideration, but we want to get them. We're not looking to break the bank here. We don't need someone to have a $10,000 credit limit to better their credit. They may have no credit, so we help them establish the credit up to 3 trade lines. You don't really want to have more than 3. That's what your lenders are going to require.
The 3 trade lines.
Yes. Ultimately, it opens up every door for them. What happens is they go out and they can refinance their car now down into a single digit, and they just paid for their service twice over.
Okay.
And
so
now they have a single digit interest rate.
So you're able to actually refinance cars?
Oh no, we don't do anything
not
like
you,
that. Oh yes,
but
absolutely.
They can refinance their car based upon their new credit.
Absolutely.
Now, how would you work with somebody who's fresh out of a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Makes sense. I get that one. But how would you work with somebody who's in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy?
Well, here's the thing. We help people one day out of bankruptcy. That's how we do it. If you have a Chapter 7, one day out of your discharge, we're there for you. And we could start helping you get back on track get your
On track.
on
I
track,
like it. On track credit path.
on track. And
Okay.
as there's doors opening, it helps being able to move forward.
Now, what I would like to do going forward is, I've been working with a team of professionals, and basically, we are looking to not just develop a panel, but do seminars in different areas. One of my biggest thing is touching the community. I don't like, even though my office is downtown, I'm the downtown girl, my children grew up downtown. I'm from the south side of Chicago, and my mother, even though, she was born, in the West Indies, she's still from the west side of Chicago. And with that being said, the stigma and stereotype is the west side and the south side, those are the areas that have the most distressed neighborhoods. But the reality is, you have this entire area, and it's like you have pockets here, pockets there. I want to team up with you so we can start doing maybe big seminars, in churches, because the overall goal is to build up the communities again. Chicago is like the place to be, Now it's kind of like, it's still kind of segregated when it comes to neighborhoods. Which neighborhood is better? Which neighborhood is, considered Chirac to some people? How is it we can team up together to grow the communities again? And I know you're from the South Side, if I can recall, right?
Actually, I was from Maywood.
I'm wrong. So you're from the West Side? That was so goofy of me. But so you're from the West Side. So, okay, so then this makes it even better, because here's my confession. Even though I got a lot of properties on the West Side, I have a lot of lots. I don't really know it like that. So you can help me with the West Side, and I can help you with the South Side. But I do want to grow these neighborhoods and these communities, and there's so many different things that we can do as a team to grow it. Whether it's starting off with the churches, trying to let, individuals know that they can buy a property, they can build a property. You don't have to be an experienced developer to build your first home. So let's figure out a day in June to get together. Find us a church, South Side, West Side. Since you're from Maywood, and I've been doing a lot of things on the West Side lately, let's find a church on the West Side. Let's start with the West Side, and then let's just keep this kind of going as a monthly thing. Let's build Chicago. Let's build our communities up. It's cool?
Absolutely.
So if someone wants to, just really kind of get in contact with you, how would they find you?
Well, what they can do is they can call, they can email, they can go to our website.
What is the website?
It is ontrackcreditpath.com.
ontrackcreditpath.com. Okay, cool.
Now they can call me directly.
And what's your number?
It is 630-745-0216.
Okay. And same thing, if somebody outside of me, if let's say a church happened to be watching, they can even contact you at the same phone number to say, hey Jeff, I saw your interview. I'm interested in doing, a credit repair or a credit workshop, at our church. You're okay with that phone call
Absolutely.
too? Okay.
Absolutely. One thing I want to let you know is I've spent pretty much my whole life working on the south side in all the suburbs, south and in the south suburbs of Chicago. So I've been everywhere.
Perfect.
We do seminars every place. We do them at the Holiday Inn. We've done them at restaurants.
And I know you're doing at Father Flagler's church.
Yes,
before,
at
which is
St. Sabina's.
St. Sabina's.
Yes.
Perfect.
And again, the nice thing about our service is when it comes to the workshops, if someone calls us, anyone can call us, and we will bring it to them.
I love
and
that.
any form or fashion, to their employers, to their churches. We do family reunions outside.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. But the idea is to bring the information, and we make it really fun. We do some giveaways and stuff.
Actually, speaking of fun, because we need to wrap this up. So we have this new thing in my office. So anybody going forward, they have to play this game with me.
Okay.
So here's what this game is. It's called questions. I'm going to ask you to name, it's only one question I'm going to ask you. And one question is, name 3 things that you know about Ebonie Caldwell. Whether you just learned today before the interview, whether you learned it from your research. Give me 3 things that you know about Ebonie.
Well, I'm going to give you the most important one. You're an expert in the real estate field. That's important because that's the number one thing for me.
Okay.
I learned that you today actually more because the more we talk, the more I learn that you are involved in so many different avenues of real estate from top to bottom. And I'm not a real estate guy. That's why working with experts, it's like with credit, leave it up to us. With real estate, I'll leave it up to you because you get it. You get it from top to bottom.
So that's two.
And the other is networking. That you
I don't
have
count
shown
that
me.
one. But go ahead. Networking.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use it as that you found number one thing is to have a team.
Yes, I'm huge in team player. Hashtag team player, power team. I'm huge in team work. I'm huge in networking. But you know what? I said three things. Give me a fourth one.
Okay. Well, what I would say is that
I'm throwing you all under the bus.
no, the thing is that I can't find. There's not any one thing. You're very, because I was attracted to the relationship because of the way you do your business.
Yes, I was.
You know, you have. I guess that you work with experts, and you know that those pieces are important. That you're the real estate piece, and you need the other pieces, but you pick the right players.
Yes.
And I'm honored to be part of that.
Thank you.
And I want to be able to do things with you going forward.
Thank you.
I like the fact, I guess if you had to pick a fourth or a fifth thing, I would say I like the fact that you will do anything for community.
I do.
And you're doing it for people.
I do.
That's
And
why I
that's a
do
passion.
what I do, is because I enjoy it. And I know the fulfillment of it. I can see it in you.
Yes. Well, Jeff, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to say bye to everyone. And you're going to be looking forward to our panel that's coming up soon. And definitely, we are looking for some churches to get involved in community affairs with us and basically to help revitalize not just the neighborhood. So, of course, we're going to be working with different developers and pretty much everybody. So I'm going to end this, and as I end it, I'm like the biggest huggy queen there is. You know, in my house, we do group hugs, we do huggies, so I'm going to end this, and thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to
Ebonie.
work with you.
I can't wait to work
Thank
with you
you.
also. Thanks for taking the time.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right.
Bye. Perfect.